Latka from the Top Entrepreneurs. Hello, Nathan. How are you?
Mahara, thanks for having me. I'm doing very well. I appreciate you guys having me here.
Awesome. We are glad that you're here too. And how are you enjoying Summit so far, RD Summit?
Well, it's amazing. I mean, you come here and you're expecting like a good conference, but I show up and there's like 8,000 very smart marketers all in one spot. I spoke this morning. The energy was incredible. So it's a really unbelievable conference.
Awesome. And I'm talking a little bit more about the Top Entrepreneurs, where you post your podcast that has more than 4 million downloads and have generated more than $2 million of revenue. How do you feel about it and the success that you have generated?
Yeah. Well, when I sold my first software company called Heyo back in 2016, I said, I've got to start a podcast because I think podcasts are going to do very well. And so I launched the one that you mentioned called the Top Entrepreneurs, where every day I interview SaaS CEOs. Now, have you listened to any of the episodes?
I have, I did.
They can get pretty aggressive sometimes, right?
Yes, they really do sometimes.
Yes.
It's like quick answer, quick.
I asked the CEO, how much money did you make? What was your valuation last round?
And if they go around the bush, you just know, just straight, yes.
That's how you have to do a good interview. So the show's done very well. It just passed 5 million downloads, which I think is really an incredible number. It also does over $2 million a year in sponsor revenue. So I'm really monetizing it. And most importantly, many times when a CEO comes on the show, I will have my checkbook. And if I like the company, will write a check to acquire the whole company on the spot. And that's what I did with the company, thetopinbox.com.
Awesome. I mean, you do your homework, and I did my homework too. I know you're a buyer, you've bought some B2B SaaS companies such as the topinbox.com, but I also knew that you also buy food trucks in Texas,
yes.
Is that right?
Do you guys know what food trucks are? Have you eaten at a food truck before?
Yes, I've been.
Yeah.
I mean, it has an amazing video on your Facebook talking about buying and negotiating on live.
Yes. Do you remember how many views it had when you looked at it?
No, I'm sorry, I don't.
Okay. That piece of content did so well. Basically what happened, Mahara, in the United States, the economy is doing really well, so it's hard to buy real estate or invest in stocks, but I have a lot of money to invest. And I said, I'm gonna take my checkbook, I'm gonna go out on the street, and I'm gonna walk up to a random business and try and buy it. And so I found this food truck. The owner's name was Ming. And at the end of the thing, I acquired the entire food truck. Over 1.3 million people watched that video, and it generated about 9,000 new email leads. So it was a very successful piece of content.
It is. I mean, it's a funny content. I mean, you
Why
should
was it funny?
check. I mean, it's funny because it's not every day that you go live on Facebook, walk around Texas, and say, hello, let's buy a food truck.
I know.
It's awesome.
It was, I was very nervous. If you saw in the video, I'm shaking because she could have like slapped me or like I was a complete stranger trying to buy her company on the spot, but it worked very well. Now we're great friends and I've made a lot of money on that deal.
Awesome. I mean, besides the food trucks, let's talk about podcasts, which
Yes.
was the main theme of your speak today. But how do you see podcasts? I mean, is it trending? How can you profit with podcasts? Would you like recommend business to start doing podcasts? What is your vision about this format?
Well, I think the way to think of this is very simple. So if I ask you a question, is it easier in your opinion, and you guys too, is it easier to read a blog post or listen to audio content? What would you say?
It really depends on what part of the day I'm going to do. If I'm working and I want to listen to it too, it's like easier because I'm not going to stop my work to read something.
That's right. So I believe a trillion with a T, $1 trillion company will be created doing for podcasts what Google did for the World Wide Web. Because what Google did was they took blog posts, website content, and invented PageRank, a search algorithm. Well, blog posts are harder, it takes more concentration to read versus audio content. So maybe somebody here at RD Summit, right?
Or maybe you, right?
Or maybe me, maybe there's something happening, but somebody's gonna have to figure out how to organize all of this audio data, make it searchable and valuable. And so if you want to play in that space, a great way to get started is to launch a podcast and make a lot of money doing it.
And talking about data, you're the one that have like the biggest data about software companies today. You have like revenues and some KPIs from the industry that usually are private. And everybody can access that at getlatka.com,
That's
right?
Yes.
And one thing that everybody's wondering, how can you work with podcasts? I mean, do you just lay the information around like for free, or how do you generate leads and generate like deals working with podcasts, just like you have in getlatka.com and those data, the data that you have over there?
Well, I'll give you 3 kind of quick things that I do to monetize podcasts. So number 1, when you launch a podcast, if people subscribe, you basically create an audio feed for them. It's like the Facebook feed, valuable real estate. So if you launch a show and you want to sell your own products in the show, you can actually put an episode in your audio feed for your show that markets your landing page. So put the URL of your landing page in the subject line. You can see in my show, The Top Entrepreneurs, I did that with episode 743, so that's number 1. Number 2 is, my show now gets about 50,000 people listening per episode. So, and it's daily. I mean, so that's like a keynote to 50,000 people every day. That's a lot of people. It's like a football stadium. You guys like soccer down here, right?
Yeah, soccer.
Yes.
But even though it's a lot of people watching and actually listening to it, and you're monetizing it.
Yeah, well, from a monetization perspective, if you're watching this going, how do I make money on a podcast? You have 2 choices. Sell your own product or get sponsors. I just gave you a tip about how to sell your own content in your feed, but if you want to get sponsors, make sure you price it on a CAC basis, not CPM. So said differently, don't let the sponsor pay you per 1,000 downloads. It's CPM. Ask them, Mahara, what are you willing to pay to acquire a new customer? Any number.
Any number.
Make up a number.
I don't know, 1,000.
$1,000. So if Mahara is willing to pay $1,000 to acquire a new customer, and my minimum sponsorship is 30 grand, I know I have to drive her 30 customers if she's going to renew with me. That's called CAC. Her customer acquisition cost is $1,000. That's how you should sell podcast sponsors, and that's why I've done over $2 million in revenue. I think a lot of people call me the $1 million podcaster because I just make so much money from this audio content by selling around CAC.
I mean, it's a huge metric that you really need to look at it, because otherwise you're just spending money to achieve people. So it's really important to check on it. And talking about podcasts and starting it, how to monetize it, what kind of tips would you give for a business that is starting to do this right now, about equipment, requirements? How should a business start doing podcasts?
Yep. So the biggest mistake I see businesses make when they want to launch their own podcast is they think they have to spend thousands of dollars on a studio. It's just completely false, right? Like, this is a beautiful studio we're in. But to do a podcast, you need 2 things. I use a Rode microphone, RHODE. It's about the size of your phone, so small I can carry it with me, and my AirPods from Apple. And so when you make your studio mobile so you can take it with you, it means you'll never miss an episode. So you don't need to spend a lot of money. It takes about $200 to buy the equipment to do a podcast. So that's technically how I do it.
I mean, it's like you're talking with someone at an online meeting by Skype or on the phone sometimes. It's just, if you listen to Nathan's podcast, you're going to check how he does it. And you also post on Facebook the videos of your podcast, right? So then you can check like the whole magic happening.
Repurposing content is so critical. So when I do these episodes, I'll do 20 back-to-back in one day. I'll use Skype and a tool called eCam, E-C-A-M-M, to record the audio. So I get an audio file, a video file, which goes on YouTube, and then the audio files go out for the podcast. And it's doing so well that many major media brands have now brought me on to launch their own shows. So I enjoy it, but the real reason I do it, Mahara, is because I meet software CEOs and I help them get great deals for their business, whether they're raising money, trying to sell their company, or trying to buy other companies.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the dashboard that you have, like, and get Latka.com, where you can check all the, you change like the businesses over there, put like some for a week, and then you kind of renew the dashboard every week, right?
How did you, have you ever seen a dashboard like that with so many numbers?
No, I have never seen a dashboard like that.
Yeah, it's really, I mean, something special is happening, but it's at getlatka.com. There's a lot of Brazilian companies actually that have listed themselves.
And you can also subscribe to see your company over there too if you want to sell or something.
That's right.
That's awesome. It's a really good idea. And Nathan, so we can like at least finish the subject about podcasts.
Yes.
What do you think is going to be the future of it? I mean, what's the trending of podcasts? This method is like everything that has to be done, have already been done, or what do you think is going to happen in 2018?
Yeah, so in 2018 and over the next 2 years, you're going to see a war for ear share. A lot of people talk about market share. I'm going to talk about ear share because if you have AirPods or things, you start to realize people are going to consume a lot of content via audio. And whoever creates the most compelling audio content is going to win that war, and it's going to allow them and give them permission to market when they have, their listeners listening for 3, 4, 5 hours a day. So you see things like Google Home, Alexa, Amazon Echo, these are all voice. So I would encourage everyone to think not just about podcasts. Podcasting might be dead because it's now so competitive, but audio content is very hot, and you can distribute that via the podcast app on iTunes if you choose.
They are calling it the screenless era, right?
The screenless era?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, we have devices now, but we're not going to have that anymore. You're just going to listen everywhere and talk everywhere we go. We do not need the screen anymore, right?
Yep. Well, we're making big predictions here at RD Summit, so people will have to tune in. They'll have to get a ticket and come here next year in 2018 to see if it comes true, right?
And who knows if Nathan is going to be in 2018 here with us again, right, Nathan?
We'll see what happens. I would love to make it happen. It's really an unbelievable conference, and I met some really amazing people.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate that.
Mahara, thank you so much.
Pleasure to meet you.
Yes, thanks.